Agriculture is the raising of plants and animals that can be used by people.
Most of the time we just eat the food and we don't know how it's grown, where it comes from, what it takes to go into it.
I'm Sarah Hoffman.
My name is Jackie Brown.
We're in Sacramento, California. I work for the Department of Agriculture, the USDA. I'm a statistician for the U.S. Department of Agriculture. We collect data on agriculture across the USA, from the amount of grapes that are being grown to the number of dairy cows, all sorts of interesting information. Agriculture in the U.S. is huge. There's over 2.1 million farms with over 900 million acres. This map shows the number of farms in the U.S. Each dot represents 200 farms. So you can see there are a lot of farms here in the Midwest, up and down the country, and over here in the eastern states. But there are farms everywhere in the United States, including Alaska and Hawaii.
Different crops like different types of weather. For example, in Florida, you have a lot of citrus because the citrus crop loves the warm weather. In the southeast, you have your greens such as collards, cabbages, kale. In the Midwest, you have more of your grains such as corns, barley, wheat, oats, hay. In the northwestern area, you have your potatoes, your dry beans. Potatoes need cold weather. On the West Coast, you have a vast amount of crops that grow. Almost every crop grows on the West Coast. Statistics is very important because it tells a story about what you're trying to investigate. I noticed some trends that the Valencia oranges are decreasing throughout the state of California.
We wanted to know where all the dairy cows were in the United States. Where's milk being produced in the country? So we collected statistics and we put it into a map. Each blue dot means 2,000 milk cows. As you can see, there's a high concentration here in California, but there's also a lot out in Wisconsin and the Midwest. This map shows the difference between 1997 and 2002. The blue dots means that we've added milk cows, and the red dots mean milk cows have moved away from that area. So as you can see, California has a lot of blue dots, which corresponds to the increase in dairies in California, and the Wisconsin area over here has had a lot more red dots, which means that the dairies are moving away from there. There are different ways to get statistical information. One way is to ask everybody every single question possible, but that's very time-consuming and very expensive. We take a sample of people instead of asking everyone. If we wanted to know something about apple orchards, we could compile a list of every apple grower in the country and just grab a few of those randomly selected to go talk to. The USDA is interested in making sure that the U.S. has good agriculture. One of the biggest challenges is making sure that you start with good data. We need to make sure that we're asking not only the right farmers, but the right questions. One of the trends that we're seeing in U.S. agriculture is an increase in the number of vegetables and fruits and nut crops that are grown. Organic farms are increasing in the United States. If there are no statistics available for people to use, then people are making their decisions that might keep them in business or have them go out of business on guesses or on misinformation. So having good statistics helps everyone make better informed decisions. Every state I've ever been in, farmers are just wonderful, wonderful people. They really care about what they do, they're proud of what they do, and it's important what they do.
California production of agriculture is huge. We grow over $30 billion worth of food, about 15% of the United States agriculture. My name is Omid Rohani. We're at the University of California at Davis. We're in a greenhouse, which is a place where they do different research experiments. I'm an agricultural economist.
Economics of agriculture is a branch of economics applied to what farmers do and what people consume.
As agricultural economists, we're looking at different trends in agriculture. Statistics helps us understand what a big role California plays. We grow over 350 different commodities in California. Rice, milk and cream, beef and cattle products, poultry, asparagus, avocados, peppers, oranges. We grow a lot of strawberries in California. Grapes are huge, pistachios, walnuts. California's biggest export is almonds. All almonds in the United States are produced in California. And these are all important commodities for people all around the world. A farmer doesn't necessarily plant the same thing on each field every year. So he looks at statistics like the price of a different food, how much the consumer's demand of a food each year has increased. A farmer uses these statistics to determine what he plants each year.
Should you diversify a lot and have a lot of crops, only one crop? Should you specialize in walnuts? Should you specialize in something else? And those decisions, that you really need to have information on what is going on out there and what other people are doing. Statistics is the methods that allow you to gather information. First thing you have to ask yourself is, what am I looking for and what is my question? If you're wondering what people are consuming, you can't have dinner with all of them every day of their life. So what you do is you send something in the mail and you think, okay, I'm gonna send it to 5,000 people asking what you've been eating for the last week. So you're sampling only 5,000 out of 300 million. So if you take everyone or everywhere where your question applies, that's your whole population. Whereas if you're looking at only a part of it, it's the sample.
Organic farming uses more environmentally friendly practices in growing the crops. There are restrictions on the types of chemicals you can use to kill the insects and the weeds that are on your crops. It produces foods that have less chemicals used in growing them, so people buy them because they feel that they're healthier for them.
How big is California in terms of organic production? If you're an organic producer, should you be in California? Overall, the big picture is that there's more growers, there's more acreage, and there's more sales in organic. But if you want to be more precise, then you have to go and find numbers.
The organic industry is very interesting. In California, it's grown quite a bit in the last few years. The number of acres planted and the value of organic production has almost doubled over the past 5 years.
Statistics is a big name for something that is really intuitive and that people do every day actually without thinking about it. I mean, when you look around you, you can tell what's the proportion of girls and boys, right? I mean, you kind of have the feeling that there's half and half. Calculating how much percent of one type or the other is present in what you see is the very beginning of statistics.